What do you think about belt kits?
I like yours.
Cool.
Keeps you safe. Right?
Hi guys, welcome back to Bear Trail Backcountry. This is Bear here. I want to do a little quick video today and talk about belt kits. It's a issue that gets, well, not an issue, an area of interest that gets brought up between a lot of my woodsman friends. It's a very popular thing in the bushcraft community, and it's definitely something that I have been using for the past few months. Because part of the journey of this more minimalistic bushcraft mentality, relying on more what's out in the wilderness, making better of the situation that the particular area that you're in, part of that journey is minimizing the bulk of stuff that you bring out there. Instead of bringing a stove and all my butane fuel cartridges, I'm just making a fire and spending that time processing wood, making a fire, plethora of uses with fire, obviously. So again, part of that journey was, instead of, probably can't see it in the frame here, but part of that journey was, instead of bringing my 65-liter hiking bag, which I can bring everything and the kitchen sink in, I've explored a few different bags in the past few months. This is one of them. This is actually becoming my workhorse. It's just a 5-inch thick by 17 by 17 Italian military rucksack with a bedroll on the bottom. Just bringing the essentials that I need. Just making sure I got my basis survival needs covered. And going with less luxuries and less conveniences, relying more on skill and what the wilderness has to offer you. So that does create a problem. Once you get here, I know I have a problem. I spend lots of time doing footwork on the trails, doing various scoutings, checking out different plots of land to continue filming and camping and hiking and working on future endeavors. So a lot of times when I'm doing that footwork, I really don't feel like stopping, taking my bag off, rummaging through my bag to deploy one item that I need, or a couple items. So the belt kit is where that comes in. You can have your small pack with just your necessities in it, quick things that you want to be able to deploy, or things that are really, really important to you that you know you have on your person at all times. The belt kit is the perfect solution. So the belt kit is something that I have employed the past few months. Like I said, I've had good luck with it. Depending on where I am, what the temperature is, that dictates the various items that you keep on your belt. I usually carry about 4 items on my belt kit. Sometimes it's 5, which I'll get into that in a minute when I show you what my current basic setup could be. But yeah, so the combination of a belt kit and a smaller pack, there isn't pretty much any, up to 2, 3, maybe even a 5+ day camp out or scout. You can get away with a small essential bag like this and a really robust, diverse belt kit that'll get you through anything you need to do. So we'll show you what I'm carrying, and hopefully it'll help you build yours. All right, folks. So what we got here is pretty much a very basic setup. This is pretty much something that anywhere in the northeastern woodlands where I'm from, this is pretty much actually this would work pretty much anywhere. This is a very basic kit. The items will get swapped out. I might add or take out an item depending on, like I said, the area I'm going to be in, what I know is available to me, what the time of year is, what the temperature is going to be. Those are all things that you need to think about that will dictate what is on your belt, which is going to be able to be, again, quick deployment You don't even have to stop walking. Just quick stuff that you can have on you in combination with your rucksack or pack. I guess we'll go through, we'll actually start. I always try to keep a multi-tool of sorts. This is just a Sheffield. This is a middle of the road. I've talked about this before. I really like this. A really nice, good pair of pliers is something that you, I mean, is worth its weight in gold. You know, you're taking hot items off of fire. This, you know, flathead screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, just a regular blade knife. One thing I really like about it, if I can get it out here, is it's got a file. File's got 100 uses for striking fire, for maintaining edges of your other belt knives and other knives in your kit. Of course, bottle opener. But yeah, a nice, good, dependable pair of pliers is the main item in any multi-tool. So I always keep that on me. I've shown this a bunch of times. This next piece, just my nice big ferrocerium rod. You can't miss it. You can't go without it. And then I just have another Sawzall blade in there in case I don't have my belt knife to strike it with. And we literally just got back from an overnight, so this hasn't been redressed or anything. So it definitely is taking some abuse. But Condor bush lore knife, made in El Salvador. Beautiful, hard-working piece. So if I lose this, let's say I lose this, I still have my ability to make fire because, again, I stuck a little metal cutting Sawzall blade, which is an excellent alternative for striking your ferrocerium rod. So I still have my ability to create fire even if somehow I lose this knife. So those are always on there, and this is another newer edition. We'll go through this a little extensively. Just a regular old, you can see it's got the Molly snaps. Hopefully you can see that on the frame there. Just a military issue Molly case, Molly pouch. These are readily available at any Army surplus. Many local outdoors place has them. All over Amazon, eBay. I mean, you can find these anywhere for very cheap, very useful. You can lash these on your pack. You can put them on your belt, and the belt loops actually snap off, so you can literally move these up on your person on the go if you have to. So really convenient, very useful and versatile. So in this very outside pouch, I have crammed, I won't take them all out, but I have it stuffed full of just little cotton balls. The absolute best, if you can keep them dry, that is. The absolute best emergency fire starter on the planet. One strike with a ferrocerium rod, you have fire instantly. They will catch, I don't care what the situation is. But if you're able to keep them mostly dry, you have fire. So I keep those, a handful just smushed in this very outside pouch. The first pouch in, it has this little mesh case inside it, so I like to keep a spare 9mm magazine. Just a big chunk of just 100% cotton. This is just cut off of a cotton shirt, but 100% cotton cloth, dries really fast. This could be used for hygiene, it could be used for first aid, it could be used for cleaning my dishes. Just something as wiping the sweat off my brow is a lifesaver sometimes in the hot temperatures. You can cut a piece of this off and shred it up a little bit with the spine of your knife and create a real fibrous bird nest to start fire with. So just a chunk of cotton cloth has a million good uses. A roll of just Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape, it will, if you spend time shredding this apart and getting it really fibrous, it takes a very long time and it's very difficult to do in cold temperatures, which I have found out. But if you spend like 15-20 minutes with a 6-inch piece and really get it fibrous and shred it up, this actually will catch a spark and hold an ember for you long enough to put some accelerant elements on it and make a fire. So duct tape, million uses on its own, self-explanatory, but Gorilla brand, this specific brand, is also flammable, will hold an ember. So another really good thing to carry on you. And that just fits in there just about perfect. Bigger pouch, the final and bigger pouch, which is pretty much a yard sale of random camp stuff. Number 36 bank line, we've covered this extensively. You know what I use it for. I daisy chain it up so it's all nice and neat when I can pull it out. And all I got to do is just pull it apart for a quick deployment. Number 36 bank line, I have several pieces of that. And okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I heard a knock at the door, so I had to deal with that real quick. So anyway, went through bank line in the big kit. Next up, several pieces of just the old standby 550-pound chest paracord. It's a really good idea, in my opinion, to have a combination of paracord and bank line. They have different characteristics. One of the main ones being bank line will hold a knot like a son of a bee. You don't really even have to have that accurate of a knot. If you pull this thing tight on itself, it's a really, really super high friction surface. This will stay knotted forever. I mean, unless you really put a quick release pull on your knots and make a significant effort to get this stuff apart to break the knots you tie on it, it will stay put really well. Paracord, on the other hand, you have to do a really, really decent, good knot and have a quick release on it, and it will release very easily for you, even when it's been under stress for a time. So depending on how permanent you want your knots and what you're using it for, how much weight you're going to be putting under it, it's really good to have a combination of both paracord and bank line. And again, you can get bank line at a few different places. I prefer to order from selfrelianceoutfitters.com. They have various different pound tests that can be used in conjunction with each other, and it's really cheap and you get a lot. So paracord and bank line to be used in combination together. And finally, just a Lansky sharpening puck. I don't know off the top of my head what the various grits are. This is the smooth side, the lightly colored smooth, and then the darker, more coarse. I believe this is like a 250 grit, so very, very coarse. This will work both with axe and knives. This works really good. I prefer actually using this for an axe, especially when I'm out in the field. But with a little bit of care and some knowledge, the smooth side and very sparingly the rough side, but mostly the smooth side, will dress up a knife edge really well. In the field, if it's a drop dead, that's your only option. You peened over a bit of your edge, or you took a chunk out of the edge. This will get you through your camping trip or scout. And I keep this right on me. Again, so if I'm walking around away from camp and I'm out chopping wood or whatever, something happens and I need to dress it quickly, it's on my person, it's on my belt, I can deploy it quickly. So Lansky sharpening puck, and as you can see, even with all of this stuff, which again I have these all daisy chained, so I cram them in here, and then when I take them out individually, these actually will not be tangled. But they're even really, believe it or not, even with all this stuff pushed in here, there's still room at the top of this for, I don't know, another piece of cloth or char cloth to start a fire. There's room if you had to throw some cattails in there to eat, if you had to pull up some small grass, some dry grass for tinder. There is room in the top of this thing still to cram some kind of element that could benefit you in a survival situation. The only other thing that I might be adding to this is a small water canteen, which would probably go behind here, because I like to keep this like right in the front of me. This is usually right at in front of my right thigh, so I can reach down right in front of me and grab it. So a water canteen, and there's various ways to lash even Nalgene bottles. You can just, you know, weave the bottle top through and just hang it on your belt if you had to. But there's various ways of lashing water canteens on to your belt. So, and usually in a summertime situation, I would have a water bottle as well. And then, of course, on the other side of my hip, because I'm a lefty and I shoot lefty, I would have a handgun of sorts usually on my other one. So as far as gathering food material, gathering materials for fire, building things out of wood, lashing things together with cordage, and even right down to defending yourself if you had to with a combination of a handgun, or if you're out scouting, maybe you have a shotgun with some, you know, a single shot 12 gauge even, and you got some cartridges in here. You could fill this thing up with cartridges if you're on a hunt or whatever you got to do. But the belt kit is pretty much all inclusive, and if you're away from camp for a certain amount of time, you'll be good for sure with the properly equipped kit. Only other thing that I might add to this that I forgot, which I actually did have this in there, I just took it out this morning because I was fiddling with it, is my Silva compass. For obviously a compass is a compass, and a Silva compass specifically because you can take your various bearings, your 360 degree bearing, and line it up with a stationary object out in the distance in front of you, and you can always keep within your bearings whatever direction you're going. So a Silva compass, always on the belt kit if worse comes to worse. And obviously the water bottle that you don't see here. But that's a basic rundown to get you an idea of a belt kit, its uses, its efficiencies, and comment with any questions or concerns. And we will see you next time.